Okay, you guys are live. Have fun.
Whoa, okay. It's February 22nd at 7:08 p.m., and I would like to call the meeting of the Havre de Grace Independence Day Commission to order. Nikki, can we have a roll call? Attendance.
Sure. Sorry about that. Christina Bracknell. Mike Bracknell.
Here, sorry.
Kim Fillinger.
Here.
Nikki Fournier. Here. Steve Gamatoria Jr.
Here.
Taryn Martin.
Here.
Christy Silverstein.
Here.
Taryn Van Heerden. And Carolyn Zinner.
Here.
Okay. Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes from the last meeting? Does anybody have any concerns?
No.
Would anybody like to motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
All right. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Second.
All
I'm sorry.
approved?
Can I just get names on that? I couldn't catch
Oh.
them.
Karen Van Heerden was motioned and Christina Bracknell second.
Thank you.
Okay. So all those in agreement to approve?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All opposed? Then the motion passed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 0. Okay, treasurer's report. Steve, you got anything for us?
Carolyn, can you mute your microphone, please?
We can't hear you, Stephen.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. I don't know why it keeps muting me. All right, let me pull this back up here. So just a quick recap. We really haven't had that much activity. The only activity we have is January. We did have to make a $20 deposit and withdraw into the account to reactivate our account because we haven't had any activity in 6 months. We also received a donation in January for $210. For February, again, not much activity. We had one service fee for a check image. I had to pull an old check to update some information. And then we had the two purchases for our website. The domain purchase was $33.75, and our annual purchase to have the website was $276. So that brings our ending balance, or our current balance, to $61,193.50.
Okay. Anyone want to approve the financials?
I make a motion to approve the January and February financial report.
So the motion's made by Taryn Martin. Any seconds? Did I get a second?
I'll second
Christina. Okay. So all in agreement? Anybody opposed? Then the minutes the financials for January and February are approved, 7-0. Let's go to fundraising committees. Spring fundraising events. I think Taryn V, that might be you.
Yeah, it's me and Christina. All right.
Okay.
My dog is losing her mind right now. We are working on the Bridgerton fundraiser, and we have that tentatively set for April 17th, just depending on the weather right now. We are having a small micro fundraiser on March 27th, which is a paint night. We're just trying to keep people engaged and participating until the main event in April. So far that's going pretty smoothly. We've sold 11 tickets for the paint night, which I posted last night. That's going to cap out at 40, just due to COVID and because it's a smaller thing. And then we started a Facebook group for people that are interested in attending. So we are at, what is it, Christina, 260?
Oh, it's like 269, I think was the last time that I saw
Yeah.
it. So
Members right now.
yeah, it's still growing pretty well.
So our goal, 269, yeah. Our goal is to get it to about 500 because we figure, probably a quarter of those people will actually come. And then we'll be able to sell the tickets. We're looking at a $30 price point for the tickets. Bella's is doing the catering, and we're just working out some smaller details right now.
Okay, that sounds like a good thing.
Can I add to that and just say, you all are doing an awesome job. It's a lot of positive energy. I know you two have been working behind the scenes on it. So I think it's a fun thing, and it's getting some energy, and even to be a little bit of a fundraiser for us is awesome. So kudos to you gals for doing it. I will definitely be there.
Thank you.
I bought my ticket.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
First of all, I'd like to ask if I could join the fundraising committee. Oh, you don't want to see my wife here shaking her head, said no. You see this? And secondly, I'd also like to propose that going forward. Hold on a second, babe. Can we vote? Just make sure and retroactively for everything they've done, vote this fundraiser up. Isn't that probably something we should do? Or I don't know. I'm not experienced on how we do things, but I just want to make sure we're on board with this.
Oh, that you mean
right?
The
do we need to do a
vote on
vote?
doing it?
Right. I think we're a little unclear on how, because when Mike and I joined, everything kind of got shut down. So we're not exactly sure how these things work. We just want to make sure that everything is done properly, I guess.
Well, Taryn and I will investigate the proper procedures and report back, because I'm a little unsure too. I think we can just do it, but.
Well, what I would say would be, and so you're right, to have some procedures in place and all. Our commission is not bound by any particular charter that says it has to be voted on or not. We could develop those rules, but having been a commission that got put together and worked quickly to do things. So we're not doing anything wrong by you all starting an event and having it. We're not in violation of any kind of charter rules or anything like that.
I just want to make sure.
Yes, absolutely. No, and it's a great question. It really is. I know when I came to the group with the Jubilee, we kind of did talk that out and vote that. And that was, I think, more my concern, because we were going to have to do an application to the city and do those kind of things. Because this event doesn't require those type of things, it's perfectly viable to do. In the future, when we can do it, when we have time, and as we start planning things out in advance, we'll have more time to present to the full group for sure. But yeah, you've done nothing wrong in this sense. But I would vote to add Mike to your we kind of all work together on fundraising. Everyone by default becomes part of the fundraising committee. But when there are particular events like you two are running this one, definitely lead the charge with that and kinds of things. But it sounds like Mike wants to be part of it, so I think he should. I'm not sure they want you, Mike, but go for it.
Well, just to be clear, my main role in this particular event would be to take care of our children while Christina does all the work.
He wants credit.
I don't think you get credit for that.
It's just called parenting,
Okay.
right? All right. Thanks,
So-
guys.
Taryn,
Moving
can I
on
just,
to,
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
my bad. Could I just confirm, did you say April 17th for the main fundraising event?
Tentatively. It's
Tentatively.
still going to depend on weather and then also just COVID. So we haven't announced it.
Okay. Thank you. I'll make sure I mark it as tentative. And I can make stuff. Hit me up if you need somebody to make stuff.
Awesome.
I just don't know
Thank
what
you.
stuff.
I'll let you know.
I want credit though.
No worries. We'll put it in giant letters underneath Mike's name.
Aaron, I have a question for you about the weather. I mean, we won't know the weather until maybe, if we're lucky, 10 days in advance. So are you going to have, an alternate location then?
No, I don't think so. Again, that would be contingent on COVID. We wanted to avoid doing this indoors, at least with the entire group. LeBlanc has offered to let us use LeBlanc, I guess, if we need to. But honestly, Carolyn, we haven't gotten to that point yet. And by weather, I just mean, if we're still getting snowstorms in March, then, April might not be that viable. So.
I was thinking more or less the spring rains that we get. Not snow so much as the spring rains.
That's something that would be a concern, but I don't think moving it to an indoor location is necessarily the best option, just depending on where we are with vaccines and stuff like that. The last thing I want to do is host a super spreader event underneath the commission's banner.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, we'll move on then to the Carnival on the Chesapeake, which is slated to occur in June. Taryn, do you have that date? June?
Yep. June 15th to 19th. This was one of the events that was approved last week by the City Council. But of course, all of this is contingent upon COVID when we get to that point.
And how far ahead do we have to have our COVID plan?
Yes,
to the city?
We have to submit our COVID plan for that event by, oh gosh, I was going to say it's April 1st.
Is it March?
It's April 1st.
Okay.
So I'm going to set up a meeting with the city leadership for mid-March to really ask for their guidance in what the plan should be for that and for our July 4th events. So we'll know a lot more a month from now, where we're headed and what we're doing and what we need to submit. We will submit that to the city. They'll submit that to the health department, and the health department will approve that or come back to us with some other concerns. So
maybe we can contact Mr. Houghton too, because I know he said he has certain things he'll want to make sure are done. So we should probably loop him in.
Absolutely. If you want to contact him, or we can have Patrick contact him before, and then we'll find out what his needs are, and then we'll meet with the city leadership and make sure that we are doing everything the proper way.
Okay. Sounds great. And celebrate the fourth foundation.
Quick question with the carnival.
Uh-huh.
The $1,000 that we set for deposit last year, they're just holding that. We're good for next year, right? For this one?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Jennifer Fuller.
Hold on a second, guys. Sorry about that. I'm still at work, so you know how that goes. So, celebrate the fourth foundation. We're just kind of hanging out there waiting to do some things, but we do have $3,352.17 in our bank account from either donations or not sure what, but it's nice to know that we have a little bit there.
Yeah, I think last we discussed, and I was still operating under this, the plan was just to to hold off on looking for grants until things had stabilized, which
Yeah.
we thought was going to be a long time ago.
Yep. I don't think there's much we can do right now.
Yeah.
Parade committee. Take it away, Taryn.
Sure, and I'll preface this by talking about overall the next 3 items: parade, Hutchins Park, and Concord Point concerts. All of those event applications were approved by City Council. Thank you, Carolyn, for your role in that at last week's meeting. So they were all, and Carolyn especially was very complimentary of our work in the past. So thank you for that. And we're all supportive of us moving forward. Again, all of these events, they realize they're approving them early so we can work on planning, but that we all realize this is all very much in flux. We are incredibly hopeful, and I am definitely hopeful and cautiously optimistic that we're going to be able to do this. So with that said, we're moving forward with our plans. As you know, we voted in January to change our parade date to July 4th on the Sunday. After that meeting and after the approval, I did send information out to the bands that we usually contract just to say, here's where we are, here's our date. We know you don't know what you're doing. We don't know yet, but so that they can at least do some amount of planning. In general, none of the bands are even meeting to practice or anything to that effect. So everything is in flux. The Harford County High School bands, obviously we're not even back in school yet, but with spring sports being viable, I believe that the marching bands will fall under that same category. And I think that we're going to see at least, perhaps not full bands, but I think that we're going to see at least groups of them. And our local band directors have already expressed interest, most of them, in being here and doing that. So that's good. We do have 3 confirmed bands already. Those of you who've worked the parade route with me will be happy to know that 2 of our bagpipers groups are already in. They can be some of the most difficult to wrangle in the parade sometimes, but they are very excited to be here, so that is good. I talked to John Zeman with the Ravens band. He was actually the one that called me before Christmas to alert me about this date thing. And he is very much wanting to be here for us. He's under the NFL rules, so he is, waiting on that. And then we do have one of the Baltimore City very energetic groups who's already committed to coming. So I feel hopeful that we have these 3 people already, and then we'll just work on it as we go and see what happens. I won't start soliciting for the other groups until like May at least, because anything like local groups, that's much easier, but I keep in contact with the bands over the next couple months for that. So that's kind of where that is. As far as the Hutchins Park and the Concord Point Park, I would just say that those events were also approved by council. Taryn Van Heerden is really running the show on the Hutchins Park Point, so you can talk about that, but I'll jump to Concord Point real quick and say, I do have reserved the Maryland Military Band, who was there for us 2 years ago. I was supposed to come, and then they got rained out after like 1 hour. They are very excited to be invited back and will be coming back. And we do have, Louis Fillinger was able to reserve the Parks and Rec Showmobile stage for that. So the Concord Point concert is like, as long as we're approved, we are in effect. We've got the stage, we've got the band, and the city will take care of the fireworks. So those are those 2. Taryn, if you want to talk what your plans are for Hutchins Park, you can take that over.
Oh, sure. So I have actually 2 bands for half the price of Amish Outlaws, which is really good. The first band is More, and that is an 80s cover band that is from the lead singer of the Reagan years. And then the second band is Here to the Night, which is a 90s cover band, and they do everything from, NSYNC to Britney to Dr. Dre. So it's going to be marketed as a battle of the decades. And I think that way, if we get rained out, we can guarantee that attendees can at least see one band. So they're going to be playing 2 75-minute sets. We're going to do kind of the same setup that we did last time, except space out the bars so that people aren't clustering And I think that'll make it just a little bit quicker, and then switch to cans instead of cups, just so people aren't touching all the same stuff. But we are on track for that. Steve's going to be sending them their deposit. And then we actually have our deposit from last year, which we can apply to that too.
That sounds awesome.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, vendors committee, there isn't really much going on with the vendors committee right now. It's a little too early for anybody to commit. So hopefully the first Friday in May, if that goes off, then I think for sure we'll start to get vendors who want to do things, because so many of them missed everything last year. I'm not worried about getting the vendors. I'll probably be worried about having too many. So that's a good thing to worry about. And sponsorship committee?
I would say this is something we're going to wait on until at least April, if not May, to do. But I have our sponsorship packages ready. We were ready to go last year, so those are ready, and we'll be targeting the local businesses, local banks, things like that, to sponsor, which will help raise money for our parade. So we'll get to that later on.
Okay. Do we have any unfinished or old business from last meeting, Nikki?
Sorry about that. I am just double
That's
checking.
okay.
No, we do not. We didn't have any new business from commission members, and the only new business from the chair was the date, and that's been resolved.
Okay. So as far as new business from the chair for this meeting, Kim Fillinger has resigned from the commission. She will look out for events where she can help more on a event by event or a task by task way. She's always been very helpful in the parade lineup, and I think that's probably where she's most comfortable. So we will miss her, but she was also kind of going to do the vendors, so leaves it back to me unless anybody else wants to jump up and take over the vendors.
I'm willing to help with the vendors. Just like I said, I haven't.
Okay.
I can't chair the committee, but I can do what you tell me to do, because I've never been through this before, so I'm not in any position to chair right now, but I can be your, gopher or whatever.
Mike, just be careful. Christy loves it when people say they will do what she tells them to do. So
Fortunately for Christy, I like Christy, and so I'm willing to give her some slack.
He's used to people named Christy or Christina bossing him around, so this should work very, very well.
Then you're hired. You are perfect for the position.
Fits right into his skill set. I love it.
Any new business from any commission members? Anybody have anything?
I have a quick question. And I was talking to my wife about this the other day. If I don't know who manages the Facebook page. Remind me.
Us.
Okay.
Why would you like to do that?
Right. No.
Group effort.
Huh?
It's kind of a group effort. We can give you rights to it. It's kind of a who can post this, who can do that.
Right. Okay. That's fine. But no, the reason I was asking is occasionally, if I'm able to get my hands on something that is worth auctioning off, that sometimes I am able to get things. I'll tell you later, like a bottle of something that's really rare or whatever. Can we auction that off using social media? And or I could do a raffle or something like that. Is that something we can do?
I don't see
Christy?
why not. I don't see why not. You mean other places have had their gift baskets, and you buy a $5 ticket and they sell 100 of them, and then whoever wins.
Right. Yeah. You'll just see the Masons or the American Legion. Somebody will get their hands on something really good, and they'll be like, okay, we'll sell 5 tickets for $20, and I'll take all the money, and then, well, I won't take all the money, but I just something that I think I might be coming into in the next couple of months that I'll be willing to donate. So.
Okay.
I think as the newest member of the fundraising committee, you are earning your keep already.
That's actually why I asked to join the fundraising committee, because I think I may, yeah.
Yeah, so Optimus did that for their, they did virtual auctions for their art show because they had to cancel that. And the Opera House is doing that next Saturday for their masquerade ball. It's all virtual, and they're raffling off several things.
The only question I would have would be if it is alcohol related, can it run through our commission or should it run through the Celebrate the Fourth Foundation? Which, Mike, you are welcome to be on that too.
Christy, you're right. Anything involving the city can, and so the Independence Day Commission is part of the city commission. That has to still clear the alcohol, but we could use it on the Celebrate the Fourth page.
Right, so we could refer people to that page.
I'd feel better about that.
And realistically, our goal is to drive a lot of the fundraising events to the Celebrate the Fourth, so that that's the fundraising mechanism, and that this is the production of the events.
Okay, makes sense.
All right. That sounds great. Anybody else? Then our next meeting is going to be March 22nd at 7 p.m. I'm ever hopeful we'll be able to all meet in person.
Well, Christy, I was going to say, I know that the mayor has said with City Hall and the Visitor Center all opening up March 1st, that does open up the commissions, if they choose to, can meet in person at City Hall, socially distanced, that kind of thing. That is up to each group to decide their comfort level, but I know that it will be allowed, or even we could probably do something if some people wanted to meet in person, some didn't. I think it's something we can discuss before the next meeting. We don't have to decide right now.
Okay. All right. Well, if there's no other business, then I'm going to suggest we adjourn this meeting at 7:35.
I move to adjourn.
Wonderful, Nikki. Any seconds?
Not needed. Procedural.
Not needed. Oh, so great.
Straight vote.
So we're done. See you guys.